Good morning. It is July 1st, 2023. 160 years ago today, on July 1st, 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg began. This was the biggest battle ever to happen here on the North American continent. Yesterday, of course, I was at the Cashtown Inn, and normally when I come to Gettysburg, I usually came up from the south and just kind of by accident follow the route the Union Army took. It's a little bit of common trivia, but it is a little fun that the Union Army, the Northern Army, came into Gettysburg from the south, while the Confederate Army, the Southern Army, came in from the north. Yesterday, because I was coming from seeing friends in Tennessee, I came up and ended up following the route the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia took, and that was one of the stops was the Cashtown Inn. So I'm heading out, going to get this started by going to the National Park Service Visitor Center. Well, it's run by the Gettysburg Foundation in partnership with the Park Service. Very good museum. If you ever come up here, go see it. But make sure you get in town. There's a lot in town, and a lot of people don't realize the battlefield is not just the field that the Park Service maintains. Gettysburg was the site of some horrific urban fighting the afternoon of July 1st and all day July 2nd. So, alrighty, well, I will be on later, and I hope you all have a great day. Until I see you in a couple hours, go do some great things. All right, I'm here at the home of Ephraim Whistler. He was a blacksmith. Behind me, you can see the first shot marker where the Battle of Gettysburg began. Union cavalry was about a mile to the east in Gettysburg, and that was under the command of General John Buford. Well, the 8th Illinois Cavalry was right here as an advanced picket line, or an advanced guard to keep an eye out for enemy forces, because they knew the Confederates were somewhere out west. This is the Chambersburg Road. Even in 1863, this was a major road. Of course, it wasn't quite as crowded or loud as it is now. Their job, like I said, was to watch for enemy forces. They saw the Confederates of General Henry Heath's division coming up this road. They sent a message to General Buford alerting him that enemy forces were approaching. Then one of the officers borrowed a carbine from a sergeant, set it on a fence rail that used to exist right here, and took a pot shot at the Confederates. That one shot is what started the biggest battle of the Civil War, the biggest battle ever on North American soil. What that shot did was it stopped the Confederates from just marching swiftly toward town and forced them to deploy what's called a skirmish line, where they put skirmishers out front in a wide sweeping formation to go through the brush, the woods, to come slowly up the road in order to fight the Union picket line. Well, the 8th Illinois Cavalry actually fell back, joined the Union Cavalry, and started a series of holding actions. But that one shot started the delay of the Confederates, allowing Union forces time to start come to Gettysburg from further east. So this is where it all began, about 7:30 in the morning on July 1st, 1863. Hey all, well, it is nightfall, July 1st. I just walked back in the door of my hotel room, and either it started raining on me as I was walking back, or else the Park Service left the sprinklers on. It's been a good day. Saw the first marker, you saw the first shot marker here. Just had dinner at the Dobbins House Tavern. That place was built in 1776. It's the oldest structure here in Gettysburg. It is today operated as a bed and breakfast and a tavern. You have a nice fine dining area in the main house, and then the tavern down in the basement. And both are historic. Both, all of it dates from 1776. Great food. Just make sure you either eat during the off hours or put your name on the list, and don't be afraid to wait. It's very popular. It is expensive. It's fine dining, even down in the tavern, but totally worth it. Not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. Last night I attended a ghost tour. It was a demonstration of ghost hunting techniques. One tool they use is a laser light grid. They'll darken the room, use this laser light grid on the wall, and what it does is in the dark, sometimes with visible light, but usually with infrared or other electronic means, that lets you see if something passes by that grid. Well, last night the gentleman, and this was at the Farnsworth house, lazed me right in the face. He had the thing turned too far over where I was sitting, and boom, Now, they were very apologetic. I got to give credit where due. They were very concerned. They tried to get me medical attention. I didn't need it. I've actually been lased in the face before with low power lasers. It's not good. It is dangerous, but my left eyeball still burned for several hours last night. I'm fine now. Then today I was talking to some Confederate reenactors at a cannon battery they were maintaining. I was talking to one reenactor. Didn't realize it, neither did he, because I'm looking at the cannon's 30 feet back there. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. We're talking. They fired off the cannon for a demonstration. I hit the deck and uttered a few explicatives that would have made my brothers and sisters in the Chief Petty Officer mess very proud of me. Gotta wonder though, last night I get lased in the face. Today I have a cannon shot off unexpectedly 30 feet behind me. What the hell is gonna happen tomorrow? All right, short wrap up here. It's the end of July 1st, 2023. July 1st, 1863, sun is falling. Union forces and Confederate forces are mashed up here. During the day, the Union was pushed through town onto Cemetery Hill and Cemetery Ridge. This hotel I'm in is built on Cemetery Hill. And it's called that because literally outside my window, and I'll show you this later, is Evergreen Cemetery, the civilian cemetery that's been here since 1854. Beyond that is the grounds that were used for the National Cemetery. But I'm looking at a cemetery right now out that window. It's a hill, it's a high ground. The Confederates didn't push all the way through and take it. However, that wasn't the critical mistake today. North of town is Culp's Hill. Had the Confederates taken that today, the battle wouldn't have happened. The problem was one of Robert E. Lee's generals was dilatory and showed no urgency in getting Culp's Hill. He just didn't have, he was kind of a McClellan, if you know the reference from our General McClellan early in the Civil War on our side. He was afraid of failure. He was afraid to take chances. And therefore, the Union forces got up on Culp's Hill and started digging in. The Confederates didn't try and take it until basically right now, about 8 o'clock at night. The fighting finally ends at 10 p.m. There's no lights, no flashlights, no infrared, no night vision. This is 1863. Soldiers fought by muzzle flash, but then you have all the smoke concealing that. Soldiers on both sides pinned pieces of paper on their back, not with their names, although that does happen, and that's what starts our dog tags. It was so their fellows could see them in the dark. Had the Confederates taken that hill, battle wouldn't have happened. It would have moved elsewhere because the Union would not have been able to entrench along a series of ridges and hills from Culp's Hill, across Cemetery Hill where I am, all the way down to the Round Tops, which we'll see tomorrow. That was the first major mistake. Not taking Cemetery Hill during the day was a mistake, but not getting Culp's Hill was a critical error on their part. And on our part, General Meade, who's commanding our forces, his forces took it. He had some good generals at that, running that end of his battle. They took it, held it for the Union. Therefore, tomorrow, July 2nd, kind of became a guarantee that the fight was going to stay here. But I'm going to get a shower, get all this done, and then I'm going to relax for the night, and I'm going to start watching 1993's movie, Gettysburg. It's about 4 hours, so I'll be doing it in stages over the next few nights. But until we talk tomorrow, have a great night, and as always, go do some great things.